Hello and welcome back. My name is Mahindo Mubarak, and in this video I'm going to show you how we can implement different kind of buttons in different sections of Android applications like these ones. So I'll show you how to implement a back button like this. You see, when I try to click here, this back button will be there. I'll show you how you can implement a button like this one in the search menu. I'll show you how you can implement a button like this one. I'll also show you how you can implement button like this in different section of your application. I'll show you how you can implement a button like this one. So in simple terms, I'm just going to show you how we can utilize our buttons in our applications. Remember, in the previous video we covered the basics of buttons, and here I'm going to show you how we can implement these buttons in our application. You're going to make something like this. So let's get started. So in the first place, I'll begin by creating an activity from our previous project that we created for buttons. So I'll just simply come here on the main application and say new, and then come to activity, and I'm going to create an empty activity. I'm going to call this activity maybe utility. Utility buttons, how you can utilize them in different utilities. Okay, so that's going to be our main activity, utility activity. So I click on finish to create this activity. So there it is created. I'm going to come now back to our main activity and go to our main project, and I'm going to add here another another buttons that when someone will click it on, it will be taken to who? The utility activity. So let's do that. So I'll just duplicate this button that was there before, and then I come here and change this one to open utility. Instead of saying open button, I'm going to say open basic. You're going to say open utility. I want to group these this source code in form of topics, so that if you download them, they shouldn't confuse you. For example, a topic of buttons, I'll put all the videos together I'll put all the source code in one file and in one project, so that if you download this code, you'll have all of them combined together. So I have this open utility. I've created this method, and now we have to create it. So I'll just so I'll change the text. It should be open, I should say buttons in utility. How can utilize button, whatever I call it. My typing speed is low, that's why I create the code before I do what? Before I record the video. So I'll press Alt and Enter, and then I'll come here down to create the application. To create the URL, to create the method in the main activity. So we'll have our method there. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and paste here, but the difference here is going to be buttons utility activity dot class, so that when someone click here, he will be taken to the utility activity. So let's go to utility activity. Here it is, and let us go to the layout of utility activity. Here it is. So there it is, and we're going to put now the code of utility activity. We're going to create it. So in the first place, I've already created this code because I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm going to do my best to explain every part of the code. So I'll come to the code that I created before of utility. Here it is, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to go step by step as I show you how we can create such a UI. So first of all, we'll create a linear layout. We'll change our parent to be a linear layout. So I'll just come and select all this tag and change it to to linear layout, and I'm going to change the orientation to be to be vertical. So just come and say orientation vertical. So after doing that, I'll have to do to put this action bar. You see, this up bar is the one that you're going to put. So I'll just simply copy this and paste it here. It's simple. I'm going to explain it. It's just up bar. Just cut this and just open your tag and just put like up bar layout, like this layout, up bar layout. Android will suggest for you everything. Just press enter and it will put for you the up bar. So here in the up bar is what will appear here in our main application in case we don't have the up bar in our theme. Now remember, this is the up bar is going to be external because this toolbar is going to be external because you're going to reuse it again and again. So I'm going to create this layout of a toolbar. You see here I'm just saying include layout of this toolbar. So since it is not created, I'm going to create it right now. So I'll press Alt and Enter to create this layout. I just say okay. Now I'm going to create the layout of of this toolbar. You see, this main toolbar, that's what I'm talking about. So I've already created it. It is just let me copy it and explain everything from this side. It is just a self-closing Android toolbar tag. You see, just come here and write toolbar like this, and then say, and then just come here and press enter. Then it will have that toolbar. Okay, it's self-closing toolbar, and it is having these others for just XML. It is having a layout of match parent, and it is having height of action bar size. You see, it's having a height of what? Of action bar size. It is having background of a primary color, and it is having a theme of up compat action bar. You see, a theme is overlay up compat dark action bar. You can just simply write dark action bar if you want to code it by yourself, and it will come. And is having yeah, those are the most important part. These are the most important part. These are just extra like the app theme, pop-up app theme, in case you have a pop-up but you not implement a pop-up in this one. So these are the most important, and they are self-explanatory. Just the background, the what, and the theme. So I have now this app bar. This is a layout that we'll use in our multiple project when we want to implement a what, an app bar. Okay, a toolbar. So you create this toolbar tag and we are done with it. Then after, you come and create this app bar and then include it just like the way I showed you. So you see this include layout, it will include the toolbar into our layout. So after doing that, we proceed to next thing. So we're going to create what? We're going to create this section, this first section. So this first section, this whole section is going to be a scroll view, because we want to consider, like, in case the screen is slow, is smaller, the user should be able to scroll. So I'm going to create a scroll view here by just simply writing scroll view like that and make it match parent and height match parent. I'm going to make the background also to be what? To be white. So after creating a scroll view, nested scroll view, I'll put there a linear layout. And remember, a scroll view will have only a single child. So inside the scroll view, I'll put a linear layout and then I close it. So we have there our linear layout, and remember it is matching parent and the height is matching parent. So it is spanning 100% of our scroll view, and the orientation is is vertical. So after doing that, I'm going to create now this first section. So this first section, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create just a linear layout, and I'm going to make its orientation to match to be horizontal, so that thing should be like standing. Okay, so I'll just copy that and then paste it here. Let me explain it. You see, close it. So there we go. So our content is going to come here in the middle. So here, this we first created the vertical ones that should have things below it, next to it, or next to the other, and this one we are creating the horizontal one that you should have things that are in a horizontal way, so in a vertical way. So we have linear layout is match parent and height match parent, orientation horizontal, and then I give the padding left, it is middle, spacing middle. Remember these dimensions, we already defined them. Okay, this dimension we already defined them. If you do not understand how we define this dimension, just watch our first video. It is very simple how we just define this dimension and make them constant. So I put the padding left, padding right, and padding what? And padding bottom, so that we should have some spacing between our layouts. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and place our first button icon, image button. Okay, so this is just a tag called image button, and I make it to have the width of action bar. You can just put the action bar. Remember, we defined the action bar width already. Okay, so you can just say width and then you reference action bar, and also the height to be action bar, and then the background, I make the background to be selectable borderless. So this is just an attribute, and then I make the, you can make your background primary if you want. Okay, I make the tint of the background to be what? To be colored. I mean primary color. So the tint of the content, I mean of the icon will be a primary color. Tint is the one that will replace the icon color, and remember we already defined the primary color. Then after doing that, I'm going to define the contact icon. Okay, so I'll just simply come here and put src, and then I'm going to define that contact icon by simply coming to our project, and then come to our drawables, and then come to new, and then you come to vector asset, and I'm going to change this one to what? To contact icon. So I'm going to search here contact icon, maybe this one, contacts, and then I'll put the name contacts icon, and then say next and say finish. Then you see we're having that contact icon. Why is it becoming why is it having our what? Our primary color is because we defined that the tint color should be primary color. That's why I have that primary color. So after putting that contact icon, and then I'll go ahead and put a view that is going to separate this layout from the other one. So to do that, I just simply put here a view next, and it is just a view, okay, and it's having width of spacing large or large. Okay, remember we define this with just press Ctrl and click, and then you see it is width of 15. So instead of hard coding it, we just reference to it. That's why I say defining things when you're beginning a project is very important. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and do it and create now this UI. But remember, this is a what? It is another linear layout which is having the text, and below it there's another linear layout which is having two buttons. So I'll just simply come and copy this first linear layout, which is going to have vertical. I'm trying to take you step by step that you can see clearly. So that's it, and then I'll close it. Okay, so by doing like that, I'll have just created this view, and then I'll come and put this text. Okay, remember orientation is vertical, so it will be on top. So I'll come and get this text and put it there. I don't want to code it to save time. Okay, but you can pause the video and see the source code. You're free. Okay, so that is my text view. It is having width of match parent, height of wrap content, gravity of vertical center, and it is having a mean height of action bar. Okay, and then it is having a text of morning pizza, and then text appearance of headline. Okay, so this is just an Android text appearance to make it headline. Just write the headline, then Android will suggest it for you. Okay, so that is done, and then you have another linear layout below it which is having two elements that are in vertical form. So just copy it and then come and paste it here, and then I'll put here, close that linear layout. So it is having just match parent and wrap content. Remember, both of them, they're in vertical, so one is under the other, but this one is having horizontal, so everything that we put inside here is gonna be a horizontal. So I'll come and get this button, up compart button. So I'll come and get it and paste it here. I think the self-explanatory. So it's up compart button, and it is having a theme of white text dark. Remember, we defined those themes in the previous video. You can as well create it, and if you did not watch the previous video, I recommend you to go and watch it to learn. And if you still on a rush, you don't have time, there's a link for this source code where you can get these buttons styles. I'll put the link in the source code of this video, and you can get all these styles in your project. So after that, you see, force to stop, and then I'll come here to uninstall. So I'll just copy that button, but here there's a button that is creating space between them, a view, and it's just having only width. And then after, I'll have come and put the accent button here. Okay, So I've pasted in the wrong place. Okay, so like this. Okay, so just press Ctrl Alt and L, Ctrl Alt and L to organize your code. So I have something beautiful like that. We're having this button, this one, and this one, and then this one. So we've got that one. Okay, so we've created that simple UI. You see, we've created that one. So by doing like that, you are giving this just an icon of, I mean, a button, a theme of accent. So after doing that, it means that we have implemented that. So this first section is over. So I will not run the application until we finish. So I'll go to the second section, and I'll just simply click there, and then I'll get this view between these two layouts. Where is it? I'll go this second section. It is there. I'll just first put the view. Where is it? This one between these two layers. Remember, you can see that yellow there, that grayish color between these two views. It is a it's just a view that is having a background of gray. So I'll come at the end of this section, I'll collapse it, and then I'll add a view that will separate. And this view is just having width of match parent, height of 1 pixel, and background color of gray. So after putting that view, I'll then come and copy and paste the second section. I'm going to explain everything in the second section, but since I already explained everything here, so here I'll just copy the whole thing and I'll explain it step by step. So I'll just copy this one to save your time. I'll copy it, and you can download this code, of course. So I'll paste it here. So after pasting it, I'm going to explain one by one. So we'll begin by the height. You see here it's another linear layout, match parent or width match parent, height of wrap content, horizontal of how layouts should be organized. Then you have padding bottom of large. You already defined these dimensions. Padding left, padding right, and padding top. So we already defined these dimensions. Okay. Then after we have our icon. And here I'll just change it to to SRC. Okay, and then after I have to create the icon of of IC storage. Okay, and the icon tint is gray. So to create that, I'll just simply right click on our project, and then come to new vector resource. Okay, and then I will search what I want, which is storage. So I'll just simply search storage, and then I can select this one and say OK, and then paste that, and then say next and say finish, and then we'll have the storage icon there, and it's having the color of grayish. So after doing that, let's see something else that is complaining. So we have this storage. After that storage, we have another text, but this text is just a plain text. It's not as huge as this one of hiding. And you can pause this video to copy this code if you want to do it by yourself, or you can just try to make it by just looking at how the previous one we did it. So here it is having this one, and then we have this text, which is the total. Remember, this one are in a orientation of vertical, so one is below the other. And then we have this big text, which is having the theme, or the text appearance of display 1. Just write display 1, and Android will suggest for you this text appearance. Or you can switch to display 2 to display 3 as you continue to switch to different and as you continue to see how appearance will change. Then below it, I have a progress bar, and then this progress bar is having a style of progress bar horizontal. You can set to vertical or horizontal, and then it is matching parent the width, and then it is having a height of wrap content, and then it is it is having gravity of vertical center. And I also make the layout or margin top to be spacing medium, and I make it also clickable, and I make its maximum height to be 100, its maximum fill to be 100, and its progress to be 70. So these are how it should appear. The progress should look at 70, and then the maximum is 100. Then after, I had to add a drawable. Okay, so this drawable here, Okay, so I'll create that drawable of a square. This is just a layout that it should appear behind when it is showing the progress. Okay, so that layout I'm going to create it. I'll just say at drawable layout. Okay, so you can create any kind of layout that you want, but for me I'm going to create this one. So you can give it any name that you want. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let us create our own. So after putting the drawable layout, you can either first create it or you create it later. So I'm going, you see, for me I already just put the name, and then I'm going to create it. So I press Alt and Enter, and then I say create resource, and then say okay. So this is the resource that you want to look there. So I'll come and copy the resource that I created. So I'll just paste it here. This resource, I'm going to explain it. It is just a definition of a rectangle. We just say layer list, and then we pass the item of background, and we define the background, and we define the shape to be rectangle. If you want the circular, it's also possible. So find the oval one, I mean oval, it is also possible, but that is irrelevant. So the shape is what is rectangle, and then the height is 2dp, and we make also another item clip which is having also a color of what, of accent color. But you don't need to memorize all of these ones, because this one you can as well generate them. Okay, so you can copy this layout that I created that will have that simple coloring, and then you're going to include it in our progress bar as the progress layout. Or you can as well download mine from the link of that is in the description. So I'll close that one. Then you'll see we have that kind of of progress bar. Okay, you'll have that kind of progress bar. So we proceed to this. It's also just a linear layout, which is having just one linear layout, which is having two horizontals, and another one is having what? It is having the vertical. And this one's having the weight of 70, and the other one is having just the weight of what? The weight of 30. So that they should make 100%. So after doing that, then we have, I put here down a button. I put there down a button of clear data. So if you have the source code, I'll share it, remember. So I hope it is self-explanatory. I hope you've understood how I organize this layout or this user interface. So after doing that, we are remaining with one section, which is this. I'll just come and copy it, and then I'll explain it just like the way I've done. So I'll first collapse it and then copy it, and then I'm going to explain it. So below this section, this one, I'm going to collapse it and then add another section. So I press enter and then paste it there. So try not to give up, and try to make something that looks exactly like this one. And then after you finish making something that looks exactly like this one, then you can try to make your own design. So here it is. It is having the image. So I'll change this one to what? src, and then I'm going to create a what? A drawable of data usage. Simply clicking here, then right click on new vector, new vector asset, double click there, and then put there data usage. Okay, this one. Then I say okay, and then I paste there the name, and I say finish. Then our data usage will come here. Okay, so after doing that, putting that image icon, this is just kind of repetition. That's why I don't want to explain everything, because remember the first one I explained everything, so it's just kind of what? Of repetition, and that's why the code is kind of too much also. So that's all, and there's no more complaints. You see it is working, there's no any warning. So I can put also, I'll put this code in the description, so you can download it, but I don't recommend you to download before you try by yourself. So that's our layout. Now let us run it and see how it's going to look at on our phone. Yeah, that's our layout. It's beautiful. We're having here the contact. You see, when you click, you have that kind of material repo, and you're having here the force to stop and install. You're having here the data usage and clear button. So you can do this. You can be creative and think how you can use this kind of UI in your different projects. So after doing that, but remember, we don't have the action bar. Remember, I said that I will show you how you can implement also these items in an action bar. Our action bar is still empty. There's nothing. There's not even any menu. So let us use the remaining minutes and show you how we can put the menu and the rest. So to do that, I'll simply come to our back end. Okay, the back end. Okay, this the back end, because to put here manual, you're going to put it manually, or you're going to put it programmatically from the back end. So I've already written the code. I'll just explain it step by step. First of all, we create a toolbar. Let me copy it and I explain every part step by step. So here on the onCreate method, we first create a toolbar, which is here, toolbar, and then we find view by ID, the toolbar that we created. Remember, this toolbar is having a It's having an ID. You see, it's having an ID called toolbar. Okay, so I find it here. I find it. I initialize it to this toolbar that I've created. Then you call the function called set support action. Okay, just write set support action bar, and then you pass that toolbar that you just defined here. So if I already write it, I'll no need to do that to copy to paste again. So after saying set support action, then you put set support action, and then you can now set anything that you want to appear there in that toolbar. Okay, see, you can set the title. You can even set the tab title. So for example, the title is button in utilities. Okay, so you can change this one to anything after manually creating the toolbar. And then after we get the support again, then we set the home page app enabled to true. You see, set home page, set home as app enabled to, you set it to true. So when you set it to true, that's when you'll have that back icon, this feature, this function, the one that will make the back icon to appear. And then we set the system color to be the color of of a toolbar. This one I'll explain, but it is optional. This one is already created. We already created in tools. What it does, let me copy this method and explain. It will create the background color of our system to be the primary color. That's what it does. So I can create this function in tools so that we can reuse it again and again in different projects, so that we should not repeat ourselves. So I'll simply come to project, and then I'll come here to basic icons, and then I come here to Java class, and I'll call it tools. Okay, so inside tools I will just simply paste this code. It's a public class. Okay, so I'll paste this code of this method. I'm going to explain everything there. So this tool will set the system bar. It will be receiving only the activity. Okay, it will be receiving the activity object, and then it will check if the version of the Android is beyond the lollipop, and then it will set this, because it is valid for only for beyond lollipop, and then to set the window to get the action bar window. You see this activity that we sent here, then we say the window, say get the window. Let's go get action window, and then we set these flags, window.add flags, then add a flag of flag draws system background, and also we set the layout to flag fluent status, and also we set the system color to be background. So if you do like this one, then your toolbar will have background color of your primary color. Okay, so I pass here to make it static, and then we should be able to use it anywhere. That's why I make it static. So once you do it like that, then you see this error has gone. And then I'll finish by doing what? By now creating the menu, by adding the menu, because remember we have the menu. So to add the menu, you just simply override the on. So this is our project. I'll come here and override. Okay, you override on option menu create. Okay, on option menu create, and then here there you say get inflator.inflate, and inflate a menu that you have created before. Okay, you inflate a menu that you've created, but remember we have not created a menu yet. We have not created any menu in this project. Now let us create a menu. So to create a menu, you first create the menu folder by right clicking on values and then say new, and say right click on resources and say new, and then say resource folder, resource directory. Yeah, what is it? Unread resource directory, and then I'm going to call it a directory of what? Of menus, and then I'll put it there. Then after having the directory of menu, I'm now going to create my menu of search settings, or the settings, search and settings. So I'll simply click new, and then I say okay. I'll simply click new, and then I come to a menu resource, and then I give it a name. You can give it any name. Okay, and then I say okay, and then I'm going to create this menu very fast because time has become too much. Come to split here, get this code. So I have another video for menus. I'll explain it properly when we reach that step. So I have here the menu. It is having the icon of search. So I can just simply come here. It is having items. That's how I create a menu. That's how I create menus. I'll explain in details the menus later, but that's how I create a what? An Android menu. Okay, just create a folder of menu, and then add there a resource of menu, and then you add the items of menu like the way you see here. So let me add there an icon by simply coming here to new drawable, and then you come here to vector resource, vector asset, and then I'll change this one to what? To search, and then we'll have a what? Our search icon there, and then change the name. So we'll have the search icon implemented. You can see we're having the search icon and this one. Okay, so after doing that, then it means that we've created our menu, and now we'll have to inflate it. Okay, you inflate it. See, this is the main class of utility classes. So you just say on create option menu, and you just say get menu inflator.inflate, and then you do what? You reference your menu that is resource.menu the menu that we just created, and then you put here pass the second one as the menu that you want to inflate. So after doing that, then if you want to listen to what when the menu is clicked on, you just override one more method. You override it, and we call it option menu item selected. Option menu item selected, you override it. Okay, you just simply write here option on option menu. Okay, on option menu selected, on option this item on options. Just say we have already overridden it, so you cannot write it two times. You see, you just say on option menu selected, and then this one will give you a menu item. Okay, Android will suggest it for you if you write for the first time. And then here I get the menu item, I check if it is equal to the home, and then I go back. Okay, I click just back. Otherwise, if it is not equal to home, I will make a toast until where we have just clicked. Okay, so after doing that, I have to run my application, and I show you how it's going to work when we have implemented the back end. So let us open the utility. Boom. So you see, we have created that beautiful user interface. Or having the back, we can click here to get back. I see it goes back. You click there, it takes us to the main activity. Have here the search icon, have here the drop down where I can get the settings and other things, and when I click on settings, you can see a toast that I've clicked on settings, and then we also have this UI that we just shown you how to create. So that's how we can implement buttons in different parts of our project. I hope this video was helpful to you. I'm going to share the source code in the description of this video, so in case you want to follow along or you want to compare your code with mine, you can download the source code directly from the link that I'll put in the description of this video. I hope it was helpful, and also try to relate, think and think how you can implement such UI or such kind of user interfaces in your different project. Don't just watch it, but watch, practice, and then think on how you can implement these ones in your projects. So let us meet in the next video, where we're going to look at more about Android Material UI buttons. I hope you won't miss in the next video. Thank you for watching, and remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel.